contents of the Gita summarized. In other words, it's examining all the subject matters which are going to be discussed through the course of the Bhagavad Gita, but just introducing them. Right, so chapter 2, and this is now verse 20. Najayate mriyate, for the soul into being, and will not come into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and Prime Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gordalani Puchane Sindhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So devotees and friends, let me just read that verse again, just so it's as clear as possible. Into being. He is unborn, eternal, ever-existing, and primeval. He is not slain when the body is slain. Worship of God, or maybe doing some puja, going to one of the temples. There's so many temples around here in Mauritius, and making some offering there somewhere. He's in the temple, God is there, and if I approach him nicely, then generally people think, large degree, when people think about God and religion and the local Shivala and what goes on there, then they think in these types of terms, that I will go, or people fond of the song, Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. I assume you're familiar with that. Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. Anyway, it's a very popular sort of Hindu anthem. But there is a time. Did you hear that verse before? Anyway, yeah, pardon me being light-hearted about it a little, but it just illustrates the principle. Or even our spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada, when he first arrived in America, kind of midnight, means like a university for people who want to become Christian priests. This is in America. So Srila Prabhupada was invited to give a talk, a lecture in America. He had met many Christian people and learned some of their prayers and things. And Srila Prabhupada, there was one particular prayer which is, amongst Christians, of these students of Christianity, Prabhupada referred to the line, what is it? Give us this day our daily bread. Yes, you heard that before. Okay. Maybe some of you heard it before. And Srila Prabhupada raised a very important point. Prabhupada asked the students, what is this prayer? What is it? And Prabhupada said, religion means to develop love of God, something material, something ordinary, like money, or health, or whatever, that sort of thing, just worldly things. And this is really, here we have Bhagavad Gita, and like I mentioned some minutes ago, And, I think you're all, or so many of you from Hindu backgrounds, and you've heard of Bhagavat Gita, of God. And Gita means song, the song. So Bhagavat Gita translates as the song of God. But here we find all. Rather, what is Lord Krishna doing? And we should note this very carefully, because this is the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. It means for us, we are all eternal, spiritual persons. That's what eternal means. So we're all eternal, spiritual persons. And in fact, in Bhagavad Gita, he doesn't really address that type of subject, hardly at all. And certainly at the beginning. Yes, so if we are all eternal spiritual persons, what are these bodies? What are these bodies? First thing is, these bodies are not eternal, isn't it? I mean, you know, when you buy things in the supermarket sometimes, then they have like a stamp on the label, like it expires how much longer we're going to live. Like me, I'm 72. A lot of people die before that we are eternal persons. So, from that we can understand, because the body is temporary. But when Krishna talks about people, he talks about eternal flesh and blood, these material bodies which we're living in, but we're eternal spiritual persons. And like I said, we have all come here, I imagine all of us have come here by some sort of car or some form of... But because there's an eternal spiritual person within, a conscious living entity within the body, which are actually characteristics owned by the eternal soul, like life, just like life, consciousness, feelings. These are characteristics. Or is it more here? Is it 75% in Mauritius? So, but it's just water, H2. Yeah. And our bodies are 70 or something, 75. And it's not in the sodium or the whatever. Actually, the life is not really a part of a breakdown, and sooner or later you have to change it. It's not going to go forever, because it's just a material. The point, I mean, one of the mains then is that all these types of things, our relationship with God is meant to be that. You find it in the Quran, you find it in the Bible, you find it, the Jewish literatures, the Torah, which is kind of very closely to the eternal kingdom of God. And there it's just natural. You'll fit in, because that kingdom of God is eternal. We fell into this very difficult material world. So, and reaction, action. For what? Action and reaction for just action, but action and reaction. The two things, like, pardon me mentioning the Bible again, but in the Bible it says, an eye for an eye and a tooth. If you do good, in very simple terms, if you do good, you get good. If you do bad, you'll react, a natural reaction to that activity, which is, sort of take the tail side, I'll just take the head side. Thank you. Once you've got the head side, you've got the tail side. Ethiopia and all these places. There's a lot of people doing some not very nice things. How do we do that? How are we going to get free from karma, all these reactions to what are entanglements and attachments in this world, and actually sit in a certain way, or like physical exercises, yoga, the word in a mood of appreciation for what he's doing for us, what he has done for us. The parents, what do the parents do for the children? They do everything. Just everything, or something of being born. So similarly with Krishna, with God, we should try and service, ultimately in a mood of love, at least in a mood of gratitude. And first point, who are we? What are we? We're all eternal spiritual persons. We don't belong in this temporary. And looks like we've got a couple of questions here. Oh, I see. Okay. Which, we say, of course he is. If God is everywhere, then why should we go to temples? A tricky little question. In the factory, on television, God's presence is not so obvious, although he's there. Or praying for better health. Not just that, but actually people are really interested in developing their spiritual natures. You become like the people who you associate with. So if you associate with saintly people, godly people,